Hi. Today, I thought I'll take up questions from the audience. So, I actually got two questions in my messenger, and this person wishes to keep her name confidential. So, I'll read out her questions and then I will answer, right? She has basically put up two questions, and while you're watching this, you have some questions that are coming up in your mind. Please feel free to write those questions as well. So, number one question she has written is that in the communication video that you had mentioned sometime, in the communication video that you had mentioned, conversation should not be around relationship. It could be any general conversation. Okay. Wherein I said that, get into a stress free conversation. And stress free conversation is one which is not on the relationships. Mostly the conversation on relationship becomes stressful. So her question is that if the conversation should not be on relationship and it should be any general conversation, what could that be? Because our interests are not common and the bias creeps in. Okay, so what could be the topic of conversation? That's an interesting question. Thank you for writing this question. And there are I would say there are three aspects to it. Number one, I will say, is that common things, common interests, common topics, the chances are will be there. Okay. But why you have not been able to explore those common topics is because after you got married, your and your spouse's attention, both of you, your attention was more on how much of my expectations can be met. So, putting it very bluntly, how much of my needs can be met up. So your focus was on your own needs getting met up in terms of the expectations you had. And similarly, your spouse also was thinking in terms of how many needs of his can be satisfied. So your time actually went in this war that happens when the expectations begin to rise and they continuously keep rising. That is the time the clashes begin to happen. So when those clashes have begun, then whatever common topics were to surface, they have actually gone to the lowest, because those common topics surface when you are operating from the place of calm. Okay, so the chances are that whatever, even if say 5% of commonality was there, it got lost. All right. Second thing is, who told you that to have a conversation, you need to have a common ground, which means you need to have common interests? Says who? Let me take an example here right now. I am a coach, right? You are not the coach, but I can speak to you on coaching for hours together and you will find it very interesting. I can tell you that. I have got into another niche which is about helping childless couples to who've been married for more than 5 years to become first time parents, preferably naturally. You might be thinking that you already have children, so you're not interested in this topic. But I can speak on this topic again for hours together, and you will find it extremely engrossing and you will start to participate as well. Okay, now that's not a common ground between you and me. I can speak about coaching, wherein how do you become a great coach, and that's the third thing I started. So I can speak about that also for hours and days together, and you will still find a lot of interest therein as well. So understand that to have a conversation, it is not essential to have a common interest or common ground. In fact, if you do not have a common interest, all the more reason the conversation can become very crispy, very interesting, because the other person is not aware of your whatever you're saying. So that person is going to be curious about what you are saying. So if the topic is not common, it is going to be even more interesting. So this is a block in your head that for the conversation to happen, there has to be common interest. With regards to this, I will say one more thing. even if your partner is not interested in that topic that you are talking about, are you interested? Are you passionate about what you're going to speak? Because if you're speaking just for the sake of it, just to ensure that your partner is getting involved in the conversation, then of course not. Because if you're not interested, if you're not passionate about it, nobody will be. Forget your partner, nobody will take interest. So, with what, suppose I'm speaking about relationship coaching or I'm speaking about parenthood coaching. If I'm speaking about that and you are able to take interest, that is because I am so passionate about the work I do. I am so passionate about these things that my passion will drive you to take interest. So when you're going to talk, even if the topic is not common, how passionate are you to be talking that topic? If you are loving it, if you embrace it, if you are, it's very close to your heart, you can talk. And let me assure you, not just your partner, but everybody around you, whosoever you talk to, your neighbor, etc., etc., if you're passionate about what you're saying, the other person is going to take interest. Okay, so that's another thing. And lastly, I would say that while you're listening to this video, you might be thinking, a lot of questions might be coming to your mind. But if I try this, I tried this, but he doesn't want to even sit for 5 minutes. How do I talk? Or he would just talk and just move out of the room. He doesn't give me that chance. I mean, those questions might be coming up in your mind. So you need to ask yourself one thing: what is in you that is stopping you from expressing yourself? Okay, what is that block in you? You can ask, what is that part in me, what is that program in me which is stopping me to talk? What is that program in me that is creating these excuses that he doesn't have time, the topics are not common, the interests are not common? So what is that pattern of the program in me that is creating these excuses? Because this is all coming from within. Okay, so work on those excuses, work on those patterns, and then you will be able to talk. So this is as far as talking on the common conversation, common topics is concerned, right? Now this is another question that I got. Again, the name needs to be maintained. She wants the confidentiality. And this question is again in the messenger. And she says, could you explain what's control in the relationship? I feel hurt as my husband doesn't talk anything apart from mundane routine talks. Okay. Thank you for raising up this question. This is, primarily she's asking about control. Okay. I will explain with an example. Control is like when you want to achieve a certain outcome. You definitely want to achieve an outcome, okay, which is fine, which is okay. But you want to achieve that outcome, and when you are defining the process also at the same time, you want to achieve a result, there are certain steps to reach to go to that result. Okay, and in your relationship, you want your partner to achieve that result for you in the ways that are defined by you. So for instance, you want to tell your husband, you actually want to tell your husband that he should give you time, which is fine, which is great, right? This is the outcome you want. But the way you want, what you end up doing is you define how much time he should give you. Then you define what time of the day he should be sitting with you. Then you end up defining what time should he ideally be coming back home. Then you also want to tell him that when he comes back home, how much time should he give to his parents and how much to you. Going further, you always tend to think that you are a better parent, right? As a mother, you think that you're a better parent. Don't take anything as an offense, right? I am stating hard facts. So when you think that you're a better parent, you define what your husband needs to do, how he needs to interact with the child as a father. So when you leave home and the child is with the father, you define what should he be doing with the child, what kind of games should he be playing with the child. When you're going for a parent teacher meeting, you tell your husband what is he supposed to, not supposed to ask the teacher. When you're going to your parents' house and there is a family get together in your side of the family, you want to define what kind of clothes he should wear, who should he talk to, right? These things are all control. Now, if this lady is saying that, I mean, she's mentioning very clearly that our tasks, our talks are routine, mundane tasks, on routine tasks. Okay. So it's a normal day to day conversation regarding household work, but you want him to talk more. Now, that's a reflection of control. Okay. If you want him to talk more than just the routine talks, okay, then you got to work towards it. Understand that if he is engaging with you only in routine talks, there is something that is pushing him away, and that's not your fault. Okay. It could be he may not be feeling the freedom wherein he can express himself. That is a possibility. Okay. He could be one of those people who speak less. He might still be fearful. I mean, I would not say fearful, but he might still not be very comfortable with intimate moments. He might need more time. He might have had some experiences where close talks are a no to him, because some past experience might be there with somebody else, okay, in his childhood. So control is something where you can tell what the outcome is, what is the outcome you're looking for. Do not define the process. Okay. One client of mine, she was very fond of the fact that her husband would give her surprise gifts on her birthday. Every year this used to happen for about first 3 4 years. In year 5, husband was very busy and he could not even come home on time, and all he did was he sent her the money through Google Pay and saying, please go and shop, buy something for yourself, and we will step out for dinner, late dinner, because I am occupied. Okay. Now, this is something he did. Now, instead, she could not, because she had that feeling that 4 years he's been given the gift and giving the gift, surprise party, etc. And this year he has done that. She was not a happy person. She didn't like it. She didn't like the fact that her husband said, okay, go and shop on your own, buy a gift, and we will step out in the evening. This is one incident. I'm saying there are a lot of things that were going on, but this is when you define the process. So she was defining the process in terms of, okay, you need to give me surprise gifts, you need to come home on time, we need to have a party. So this is the process she is defining for her birthday celebration. Okay. If you really want to have a beautiful relationship, you need to let go of this control. Define what you want, ask what you want, but then leave the process. Trust the process. Whatever process he is taking, trust that. It'll come over time, but this is what control is, and this is how just let go. Do not define the process. Okay. So these are the two questions that I had received, and I hope this person is watching. And I wish to believe that you know you have got your answers. And should you have any questions, please post your questions here right now, or else I will be ending the video here, and I am going to be seeing you tomorrow at 3:30. Tomorrow is Thursday. Yes. So tomorrow there is a special guest coming in our live, and I really want you to be in the live because I want you to ask your questions to the guest. Okay. She is my ex client. Many of my clients and many of you, you're so scared to not let anybody see you. You're so scared to even mention your name. I respect that. Point is that if this is the fear you have, if you're allowing yourself to be ruled, governed, live life with fear, how are you going to work on yourself and how are you going to work on your relationship? Okay. This one client of mine, she has come out of all that fear. She doesn't care who's watching her, and she's here to share something very, very exciting, very, very interesting. So please be here tomorrow, 3:30, and put up your questions on the live, and she's going to be the one who's going to be answering the questions, not me. I will be there with her tomorrow. Okay, so I am going to be seeing you tomorrow at 3:30, and thank you for all those people who are watching this live. I want more participation for the only reason that it'll help you get out of the boundaries that you have made for yourself. When you cross those boundaries that you have made for yourself, then only you will be able to succeed in life, right? That's the reason why I'm purposely creating live. Otherwise, I could have just made videos and posted them. But I really want you to be here and start to break those boundaries. Don't care if somebody sees you, it doesn't really matter. Okay? So, see you tomorrow with a special guest, and take care. Bye.